Okay, Paul. So one of the things that I'm getting some questions here in the chat, and my media coordinator here is making sure that I stop for a minute and ask some of these things. These are some of the questions that I wanted to ask you because I've known you for half a decade or so. Some fastballs for you right out of the Ted Williams world. How many breaches have you worked in your career? Give us a rough number of
Yeah, I
magnitude.
have no idea. Definitely triple digits, but
Okay, good.
I couldn't tell you. And it's
Is
funny
there
because
one that? Go ahead. Sorry.
no, I say it's funny because then you get into the what constitutes a breach, right? So
Yeah.
obviously, like a ransomware type of event or something like that,
Right.
obviously a breach. But what happens when you do an investigation on some employee who left the organization and maybe took his thumb drive with him, and you want to know what was on it? Is that a breach? Maybe
Yeah.
not. Uh,
Right.
but hundreds in all sort of different fashions, right? Everything from ransomware to your business email compromise, to state sponsored threat actors stealing cryptocurrency. I mean, you name it, it's been all over the place. Down to, hey, Jesse left his last company and took all of his secrets with him, and we want to know exactly what those were. That way we can go sue him or something like that.
Got it.
So
Got it. All right. Well, that's good. Well, hopefully that never happens with me. And if you do start an investigation on me, let me know so I can not leave any breadcrumbs.
I'm
So,
watching.
so you've worked a lot of these things. You've got broad exposure. Let's narrow that down just a little bit. Let's say you guys have been in existence for 8 years, 10 years, whatever it is. In the last half decade, last 5 years, 4 years, whatever you want to say, out of all those incidents that you would actually classify as a breach, what was the commonality between how those organizations were impacted? Is there one, or are they just all over the place all the time?
It's all over the place, but ultimately it comes down to the ultimate result is they're impacted by being distracted from actually running their business because they have to focus on this incident and get them back. So ultimately
Got it.
it's some flavor of taking their focus off of what actually makes them money. Or if you're a government organization, it's taking focus off of serving your constituents because you're
Got it.
focusing on recovering from this breach or trying to understand what happened or trying to get your systems back up and operational. So the effects sometimes are monetary, sometimes there's no monetary effect, but it's all about downsizing.
Disruption. Right. Yeah. Right.
So the actual the acute symptoms vary, but overall that's what it is. It's taking your focus around away from what you're doing because no business exists to be secure, no business exists to to build or rebuild their systems, and no business exists to lock things down. But if you're spending time doing those things, you're not really doing what you exist to do, and
The
that's really
business was created for.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good perspective, and really knowing that, right, and having the exposure that you have, is there like, yeah, and I'm thinking like Neo and the Matrix, the red pill, the blue pill, right? Do you want to go down into the rabbit hole, or expand forever type of thing? Is there one kind of magic wand thing that you wish that you had in your industry, in your world, that would, outside of disconnecting from the internet? I'm sure I've had that answer before, right? Is there something that you think every organization should stop or start doing to improve their posture that you don't see often enough?
Yeah, it's never as easy as it sounds, right? There's always we need more people, money, time, whatever it may
Yep.
be. But ultimately what it comes down to is often tools are not the solution. It's really about leveraging the things that you have and doing getting the most value out of what you have in place right now, or securing the things that you have in place using the built-in capabilities. And that's a
Got it.
very sort of obtuse, you know, high level picture answer, but really that's what it is. There's a lot of tools out there. We certainly use a lot of tools to do our job. There's a lot of great products that can have a massive impact on your security, but a lot of times it's people going out there and just trying to buy tools to solve the problem without putting a lot of thought into what they could be doing better to protect themselves or their customers or their employees with what they've already got before they just layer more tools on top of that.
Fascinating. We just published a blog post a few weeks ago about the over tooling that we see in organizations. and I kind of did it on the drills in my wood shop, right? And like how many tools that I have 11 drills, Paul. That's way too many, right? And that's 5 different types of batteries and chargers. I had to like install additional outlets just to put them in my charger bank. But the whole point is we see over and over and over again, and it's really interesting that you bring that up as a peer of mine, companies and organizations being over tooled and under realized in those tools. And what we try to do is help them consolidate that sprawl and bring what we would call some efficiencies to the tooling madness that we see.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You got to have some tools, right? You have to have a drill. Do you need as many drills as you have? Yeah, it's probably not, but that's for you and your wife to figure out, I guess.
That's right. That's right.